Basketball Regional presented by Capital One. At the end of the day, we will send a team to Super Regionals. Tennessee seeking their 4th straight trip. Virginia has never been there before. They need 2 wins today against the Lady Vols to make program history. Tennessee has won both of its games to get to the regional final, including a 7-5 victory yesterday against Virginia, who had to come through the elimination bracket, twice beating Indiana out of the Big Ten. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, my partner Amanda Scarborough, the 2-time All-American. Really interesting matchup. I think Virginia maybe raised some eyebrows yesterday with how competitive they played Tennessee. And really, Amanda, for them, it's all been about the offense in this tournament and how they have turned things around at the plate.
Yeah, I love when the unexpected happens in the postseason. I think it's great as a broadcaster, keeps you on your toes, but also as a fan. And something that we didn't expect for Virginia is this home run surge that we've seen at the regional. We knew that Virginia had a great pitching staff and played good defense, but the amount of home runs that they've hit, they have hit 8 here in Knoxville in their time at the regional. This is how they've been scoring their runs. And I mean, they had a pretty good home run hitting team, but not to this extent. 8 home runs hit by 5 different players. 18 of their 22 runs scored at the regional have come via the long ball. That is over 80% clip, and on the season, 38% of their runs were scored via the home run ball. So a big surge of power here at the regionals for Virginia.
They did have a home run yesterday against Tennessee, whose theme this year has been the depth of their pitching staff. But, of course, they are led by the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, Carlin Pickens.
And she's going to get the start today. Virginia saw her in relief yesterday, so she had several strikeouts to give up a home run. But Carlin Pickens, the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, the All-American, going to get the start today. 1.60 ERA on the season. The last time that she started, Tennessee has used her a lot in relief. The last time that she started was April 25th against Alabama on this field when Tennessee got run-ruled by Alabama 12-0.
That was 22 days ago. Carlin Pickens will make her first start in 3 weeks. Virginia trying to force a Game 7. They've never been in one in program history. Tennessee seeking their 4th straight Super Regional, 15th overall. Back in Knoxville as we take a look at the Lady Vols starting lineup, brought to you by Capital One. Emma Clark in the cleanup spot, 3 for 4, 2 homers, 2 runs batted in this tournament. Homered off of Taylor Smith yesterday, who the Lady Vols offense will take on again today. It is the underclassman in the circle that gets the ball in maybe the biggest game of the year for Virginia.
Well, she's been throwing the best out of any of the Virginia pitchers. We have seen her several times in this regional. In fact, we've seen her in each of the games, but this will be her first start. They love this matchup with Taylor Smith because of the way that she throws against left-handed hitters, which Tennessee has a lot of. They have been planning for this for 3 weeks. This moment, the freshman in the circle with this matchup.
Now, this Virginia team has dealt with so much adversity, including injuries to 3 starters. Kelsey Hackett, one of those. Injured May 6th against Pitt in the ACC tournament, has not played since and will not play today. But in Joe Harden's tip of the cap to her senior, letting her start for the first pitch. And now she will come out of the game and get hugs from her teammates. What she has meant to this program, helping them reach 3 straight NCAA tournaments, Amanda. Prior to her class arriving in Alexandria, the program had been to just 1 NCAA tournament, and she so desperately wanted to play, but because of the injury, unable to. And a really cool moment for her and her team and the fans of Virginia that made the trip to Knoxville. Kelsey Hackett and her awesome career will come to a close today on this field at the regional in Knoxville.
See what Kelsey means to this program. I don't think there's a dry eye in the Virginia stands and on the Virginia field right now. What a moment. I've never seen something like that at a regional. This is very rare, but clearly shows that they wanted to make her feel special, suffering an injury not too long ago, and now Jaden Griffith will be out in left field, who has been the replacement for her out in left field and has had a tremendous regional.
Chopper gets past the glove of Smith off the bat of Knight. Well played by Alex Call. 1 down.
Well, Taylor Smith, we talked about how well she has thrown in this regional. It's been because of her rise ball. Look at this movement and the chase that she has gotten on this pitch. I mean, this is a pitch that she came in with as a freshman, but this pitch the last month or so of the season has absolutely been electric. It's a pitch that Tennessee is going to have to work to see down in the zone against her today. Ooh, nice pitch with that changeup too. Not a pitch that she has thrown a ton, but if she's going to throw it like that, she's going to throw it often. We'll ramp it up to 68 miles an hour into these lefties with her curveball. Has that elite rise ball. Changeup this year has been inconsistent, but again, if she's going to throw it like the first pitch of the AB, they are going to see that pitch a lot.
Alana Leach 2 for 6 in the regional coming into the day for a Tennessee offense that, not unlike Virginia, has shown something more in the NCAA tournament compared to their previous 10 games. One-two pitch from Smith. 2 quick outs for the freshman.
Chase off the plate here by Leach. So Leach saw a couple of changeup, a rise ball that was way over her head, and then a low rise ball with a little bit of screw action away from Alana Leach for the strikeout. I have been so impressed with Taylor Smith in the circle, just a freshman, and boy, she has not pitched like it at all.
Elsa Morrison, the freshman, behind the plate. It's a Tennessee offense that has shuffled its batting order quite a bit this year, particularly 2 through 8 in the lineup. Elsa Morrison has hit all over the place, but when she has hit third, this program is undefeated, and it's not a small sample size either. Batting .292 in the 3-hole with 13 runs batted in. Lady Vols have averaged 5 runs per game so far in the regional through their first 2 games. Up a couple of runs from the 10-game stretch they had coming into the NCAA tournament. Karen Weekly made a number of changes, not only to the batting order, but to the infield. And her team has responded. Morrison drawing a walk to extend the first inning for Emma Clark.
Elsa Morrison and Emma Clark have been really good for Tennessee this weekend and really turned things on. This is a Tennessee offense that we've seen had a really hot start in February, just came out and set the world on fire in that month, scored a ton of runs, and then really cooled off as SEC play went on, which of course they're facing better pitching consecutively back-to-back weekends in SEC play, but just not generating a lot of runs for their pitching staff. That's the best pitching staff in the country.
It is interesting too, isn't it? The narrative around this Tennessee team was that they were on a bit of a slide, and yet they won their last 4 SEC regular season series, including beating the #1 overall seed in this tournament, Alabama. But certainly the offensive numbers were concerning for Karen Weekly, and it's why they made a number of tweaks coming into the weekend here in Knoxville.
Well, especially when you see what your offense is capable of, scoring over 7 runs per game, and then it just kind of trickles down throughout the rest of the year. You're like, where did our offense go? Where did our mindset go?
In the air down the right field line, could be playable for Green, and it just gets out of a reach in foul territory.
I think it was a question mark for Tennessee. Their pitching staff was not a question mark at all coming into this season, but they lost a lot of big bats. Taylor Pannell transferred to Texas Tech. Kinsey Fiedler, Laura Mueller, McKenna Gibson, Sophia Nugent. Those were big power hitters for them last year that they had to replace with transfers and freshmen.
1-2 pitch. Ball gets away from Reagan Hickey. Up to second goes Morrison, and now the go-ahead run in scoring position. And to your point, Tennessee replaced over 75% of their home runs and RBI from last year. They have been led primarily this season by underclassmen. 7 of them getting significant playing time.
Well, when you have an experience and youth like that, I think that's a big part of the ebbs and flows of your offense and showing some inconsistencies. Their pitching staff has been so consistent, truly the best pitching staff in the country for the entire year. The question has just been what Tennessee offense is going to show up game to game.
Oh, 2-2 sails on Smith. That's the second ball that has gone to the backstop in the first inning. Third wild pitch, and Clark now in the driver's seat with a 3-2 count, and the go-ahead run 60 feet away. Payoff from Smith. It's a good at-bat here from Emma Clark after 2 quick outs to start the inning, and then the walk issued to Elsa Morrison. We've talked about it a lot over the course of these 3 days here in Knoxville. Doesn't it feel like every time somebody's given up a free pass, the opposing offense has taken advantage? Tennessee trying to do that here. In the air to left center, drifting back, it is caught right in front of the wall by Jaden Griffith, who's had an excellent tournament. That went 199 feet. Back in Knoxville, a look at the Virginia starting lineup brought to you by Capital One. 5 different Who's batters have hit a home run. The team has hit 8 total over their first 3 games of the tournament. One of those did come against Carlin Pickens yesterday in a 7-5 defeat in the winner's bracket matchup. They will get Carlin Pickens again today, making her first start in 22 days for the Lady Vols.
Carlin Pickens, a senior, the All-American. She's going to come at you with velocity, approaching 80 miles an hour. She is the hardest thrower in our game, likes to stay more down the zone with her drop ball, but over the course of her career at Tennessee has worked hard on her changeup to make that an effective pitch alongside her velocity, and will move the ball up with her rise ball as well. But really long levers as a hitter. The ball gets on top of you quickly. However, we've seen hitters catch up with her velocity. It's still going to be important for her today to find corners against a hot-hitting Virginia team.
Jade Hilton, first pitch swinging over to short. Bella Foss slings for the first out.
And because of her velocity that she throws with, the ball has a tendency to come off the bat even harder. So even a ground ball like that is 70 miles an hour exit velocity. Carlin Pickens provides the power as she is the hardest thrower in her game, hitting speeds of 75 plus miles an hour.
No one's ever thrown it faster. 79 miles per hour and change for Carlin Pickens. And now seeking that 80 mile per hour mark in the postseason. Misses upstairs.
Yeah, the hardest that she's ever thrown it was last year at Super Regionals against Nebraska, 79.4. That is the record. The hardest pitch she's thrown this year was 78.5 against Alabama.
Ball 2 to Macy Eaton. Seeking her second hit of the tournament, has been on fire, however, coming in to the regional.
I think, I was surprised to write down Eaton's stats for the regional and see that she was just 1 for 11. Does have 4 RBIs, but I feel like her at-bats have been really good.
This one's lasered into left field. Well played. Backhand glove by Taylin Holly. And that will help Carlin Pickens out. A smile from the senior in the circle.
Eaton continues to stay unlucky. But here's what Carlin Pickens is going to bring to you. 75 down to the zone, 72 up in the zone, and then a changeup at 63 to 65 miles an hour. That changeup tunnels really well with her drop ball that's 75 down, and that changeup is critically important for her to throw well. Because when that changeup is on, and despite it still being at a good velocity, 63 to 65 miles an hour, I mean, a lot of pitchers in Division I softball, that's like their average or best speeds is Carlin Pickens' changeup speed. But it's a pitch that she has to have on to make her hardest stuff look even faster and tougher.
0-2 to Bella Cabral. Part of this upperclassmen heavy Virginia starting lineup. Who's playing in their 3rd straight NCAA tournament, seeking their first trip to a super regional in program history. Joe Harden has built a perennial contender out of the ACC.
How about that? You can tell they're trying to get in rhythm with that changeup. The pitch that went to the backstop, that was a changeup that she held on too long. And so Megan Rhodes Smith is like, nope, we're going to throw this today. You're going to throw it again the very next pitch. And that's the one that Cabral just fouled off down the line.
Pickens caps off a 1-2-3 first with a strikeout.
When you're seeing swings and misses on Carlin Pickens pitches, you know she's in a groove. That's how you know her ball is moving. She's moving the ball around. First strikeout of the day for Pickens on a rise ball, getting Cabral to chase out of the zone.
coming up tonight later on ESPN2, 6 p.m. Eastern. The NWSL, which has all kinds of momentum coming into the year, features Portland and Angel City. You can catch it as well on the ESPN app. Is that a soccer player on top of a directional blowing in the wind out there? That is...
Yeah, I think the soccer stadium
camera work.
is just, we can see the soccer stadium just right out there in right field.
Regal Soccer Stadium out beyond right field here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Seats a little over 2,200. We've had great crowds on hand all weekend here in Knoxville. Mackenzie Butt leads it off, 2-0 count. She too homered off Smith yesterday. So important this year for Taylor Smith to work ahead. When she has fallen behind 1-0 or worse, 30% of her batters faced have drawn walks. Mackenzie Butt in the air to center, drifting back on it. Hudson makes the catch on the track for the first out. As we welcome those of you joining us on ESPN2, Matt Schumacher, Amanda Scarborough with you. Georgia, the 10th overall seed in this tournament, now awaits the winner of Tennessee and Virginia to see who will be their opponent in the 2026 Super Regional. Tennessee beat Virginia yesterday in the winners bracket, 7-5. Opened the scoring with a 5 spot in the first inning. Taylor Smith keeping the Lady Vols bats at bay so far in this game. 2 quick outs here in the second inning.
Yeah, Taylor Smith, the freshman for Virginia, has pitched so well this weekend. We have seen her in each of the games in relief, but Joanna Harden, the head coach for Virginia, giving her the start. She has been the hottest arm for Virginia the last couple of weeks here down the stretch.
In steps Gabby Leach.
Especially looking at how Taylor Smith started this season versus her last 6 appearances. 23 earned runs in her first 23 appearances. However, her last 6, only 3 earned runs given up. She has pitched over 10 innings here at the regional, only given up 4 hits. Has given up 2 home runs, so 2 of the 4 hits that she's given up have been long balls. But her stuff has looked really electric with her rise ball up in the zone, getting a lot of chases. It's going to be up to Tennessee to make her come down through the zone with her rise.
2 down, bases clear for Gabby Leach, one of 5 left-handed bats in the Lady Vols lineup. Taylor Smith has been so good against lefties this year. Her head coach Joe Harden called her the lefty specialist for the Who's pitching staff.
Change up too that's working. Part of the scouting report coming out of the weekend was a bit of an inconsistent change up by Taylor Smith, but she has thrown it well early in this game. Didn't get the call there, but still a really good look out of her hand and a pitch that has a lot of potential in this game.
Talked about her last 6 appearances, how good and sharp she has been. They really groomed her in anticipation for being placed in this regional against a lefty-heavy lineup of Tennessee. They have relied upon her heavily in this tournament, not only against the Vols, but against Indiana who Virginia had to beat twice to get to the regional final today. Full count to Gabby Leach. Oh, this is crushed, but high and shallow. And it is caught by Madison Green. Those of you joining us on ESPN News, you can catch the remainder of this game over on ESPN2. Right back after this.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Not a cloud in the sky for this regional final in Knoxville, Tennessee. Today, the winner will face Georgia in the Supers next weekend. Hi again, everybody. Matt Schumacher, the two-time All-American, Amanda Scarborough with you. It's been a really exciting regional here in Knoxville. One of the big stories, though, in this regional final, the emergence of Carlin Pickens as a starter. It's been 22 days since we have seen her start a game for Tennessee. What are you looking forward to today from Carlin?
Yeah, seeing the spots that she hits. I mean, despite her being the hardest thrower in our game, she still has to find a way to live on the edges. With the way that Virginia is swinging the bats, they've hit 8 home runs in this regional. She's really going to get tested. And the last time that she started a game was an SEC play against Alabama, game 1 of that series, where Tennessee got beat 12-0. They got run ruled. They've used her a lot in relief. I mean, it just goes to show the depth of this Tennessee pitching staff, that the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, the All-American, one of the best pitchers in the country, has not had to be that relied upon to start games because Aaron Newer and Sage Marjeko on staff with her have been so good.
0-2 to Reagan Hickey, who has 3 hits in this tournament and 3 runs batted in. Pickens has worked ahead and counts early and often so far in this game. Set the Who's down 1-2-3 in the first.
Now, one of the things that Tennessee has had to deal with this season, and every team is going to deal with some adversity, but it was early in March that Carlin Pickens suffered an arm injury when she was pitching against Belmont.
In the air to left center, playable for Knight. First out of the inning.
And before that injury, she was pitching like a national pitcher of the year. I mean, these numbers, 0.6 ERA. She had only allowed 1 home run. She did not allow an extra base hit in the month of February. In fact, she got injured March 3rd. And since her return, gone 7-7 and above 2 ERA, which when you look at Carlin Pickens' stats in her career, her ERA has continued to hover around 1 for each season, maybe even below. I mean, she has been one of the best pitchers in our game for 4 years since she set foot on campus at Tennessee. And you could tell that injury, she took off about 12 days, did not pitch in any games, and I think it was even a question, at least for me from afar as a fan, is she even going to come back this year? There was a question mark of how serious is this arm injury, but she's just not quite been the same since that injury that she suffered on March 3rd. Can she still get outs? Absolutely, but she's just not as dominant as what we saw in February.
1-1 misses high and tight to Hannah Weismer. Well, her usage has been different too this year. Think about previous 3 seasons, 70% of Carlin Pickens' appearances were starts. This year, just 45% of her appearances have come in starts. Almost feels like they've tried to work her back slowly, protect her a little bit, coming back from the injury. And Amanda, let's face it, she has been one of the best pitchers in the game 4 years running. There is a lot of tape and study of Carlin Pickens. First base runner aboard today for Virginia.
When we asked her on Thursday coming into the regional, and we had a chance to talk to her, like, what is your focus coming into this postseason? And she said not giving up freebies, making them earn everything. So something that she's actively working on in this game and every time that she goes out to pitch is to attack the strike zone and limit those free passes, something that she feels like has hurt her since she's come back.
She will take on Alex Call here, who yesterday hit a 2-run bomb off Carlin Pickens. That was a big moment in the game. Drew Virginia back tight again with the Lady Vols.
Yeah, and you see that pitch location. Elsa Morrison was set up on the outside corner. That pitch bled back over the heart of the plate, and Virginia has just been ready to hit. They have had such a great mindset. They know exactly what they're looking for. Alex Call said in the postgame yesterday after their win against Indiana, she has just believed in their plan. And you can see that with the Virginia at-bats and the confidence that they have in the box. They are sticking to their plan, hunting a certain pitch, and it's shown with the home runs that they've hit.
Time called by Megan Rhodes-Smith, the pitching coach for Tennessee. We chatted with Alex Call after their win against Indiana last night. What are you looking forward to in the rematch with Tennessee? She said, we're going to bring it to them again, just like we did on Saturday.
Yeah, and she also was the first to mention playing for this senior class.
Yep.
A senior class that's been just pivotal in Virginia's success in the past 4 years since they set foot on campus as freshmen. And Virginia natives, a lot of them are, and Alex Call just being a sophomore, but she wasted no time in mentioning we are playing for this senior class and trying to extend our season and get more game time with them.
It's a senior class that helped bring Virginia to this Knoxville Regional just 3 years ago. At the time, it was their first trip since 2010 and the second in the program's history. They ended up losing to Tennessee in the regional final. A regional final in which Carlin Pickens went the distance. 7 innings, allowed just 2 hits, no runs against Virginia. Hitters count to Call.
We mentioned the Carlin Pickens injury, and we talked to Karen Weekly about how she has been since she's come back. And one of the things that I noticed, watching their games is her changeup being a little bit inconsistent, as well as looking at the numbers, her rise ball getting hit a little bit harder. And that's something that Karen Weekly talked about, that just trying to find a way to get her changeup and her rise ball, getting that consistency back with both of those pitches, and has felt like there have been stretches with her rise ball that she's been throwing too many in the zone that have been hittable pitches.
Oh, a strikeout a Call. She was not expecting that pitch. And it's the second K of the day for Pickens.
Well, you're not going to believe this if this is the first time that you're watching Carlin Pickens pitch. This is her changeup. 66 miles an hour is Carlin Pickens' changeup right there that froze the home run hitter in Alex Call.
There's a lot of pitchers in this game at an elite level whose fastest pitch tops out around 66.
There are some that top out at 58, 59, 60, and that is 6 miles an hour slower than Pickens' changeup. Just threw another one there at 64. You can see her just struggling with the command of that pitch. We saw one go over Elsa Morrison's head, the catcher, and a little bit just trying to find that release.
2 outs for the freshman Jaden Griffith, who's hit 400 in the regional. Has a hit in each of the first 3 games for Virginia here in the NCAA tournament. Runner aboard, 2 down. Griffith to short, Bellafaw. So slick at short. Who strand 1, no blood after 2 in Knoxville.
There is nothing like the Women's College World Series.
ESPN is the home of every game up to and including the Women's College World Series, which begins May 28th on ABC, ESPN, and ESPN2. Already 2 teams have punched their tickets to the Super Regional. 6 overall seed Florida, 10 seed Georgia, who awaits the winner out of the Knoxville Regional. Florida awaiting the winner out of the Lubbock Regional, which has had a whole lot of fireworks so far. You can catch Texas Tech and Ole Miss in the regional final right here on ESPN2 at the conclusion of our game. Taylor Smith back in the circle here for Virginia, taking on the bottom part of Tennessee's order. Was that not one of the craziest games you have ever seen yesterday between Tech and Ole Miss? Tech down 8 going into the 7th, and they somehow, Amanda, won that game.
Never seen anything like it. I mean, down by 8 runs, and it didn't look like Texas Tech had any hope. They were down to their final out, and they just kept hitting. 2 home runs in that comeback, ended up tying it, and then ended up eventually winning it. An inning later? 2 innings later?
In the 8th.
In the 8th, yeah.
They scored all 8 of their runs in the 7th inning with 2 outs.
Yeah, just I can't believe it. They were even down to their last strike.
Yes.
There was a 2-2 count with 2 outs, and they had not scored a run yet.
ice in your veins.
Saw Jerry Glasgow's post game. And, you know, he's always good for a good laugh, the head coach at Texas Tech, who's over coaching third base in the third base coach's box. And he said he was contemplating when they were down 8-0 retiring, having those types of thoughts go through his head. You know, down by 8 runs on your home field, about to go to the elimination bracket, and then he just came roaring back.
Taylon Holly has come roaring back in this AB, was down 0-2, now full. And she draws a leadoff walk. Second free pass of the game, drawn by Tennessee. He went from contemplating retirement to probably having a celebratory steak at Las Brisas. Look at that note on the bottom there. Teams in the NCAA, that's not just in the tournament but all time, were 0-640 when trailing by 8 or more runs. Texas Tech makes it 1-640 after their comeback win yesterday.
Yeah, that was, I've just never really seen anything like that. And I think a lot of the Texas Tech fans had left. It looked like there were a lot of seats open, that they did not believe that there was going to be a comeback. But I mean, they had done something that had never happened before.
Ball gets away on Smith. Up to second goes Taylon Holly. That's the third wild pitch of the game for Taylor Smith.
Ends up sticking in the padding there, and I think that the umpires are going to talk about that as you see that the ball got lodged.
Boy, it's so interesting to see Taylor Smith struggling with her control. We've seen 3 wild pitches already in this game. Coming into the day, Amanda, she had had 4 all year. They will keep Taylon Holly at second base. 1-1 count to Bella Faw batting in the 9 spot for Tennessee. Ball gets through the 5-hole of Hickey.
Man, this is just a real oddity, what we're seeing from Taylor Smith. You just do not see this many wild pitches, not just from her, but really any pitcher at this level. Just lacking this command at times today.
Chopper to third. Cabral looks Holly back to the bag, takes care of Faw, 1 down. Have you ever had a time in your career where you were really just erratic with your pitches?
Not like this. I mean, even when you're erratic and you don't have good command, it's still to a point where the catcher can still catch it.
Sure.
You know, I don't remember a time where this many got past my catcher, and that it's just very rare to see a Division I pitcher be that erratic with the location of her pitches and wildness.
Line drive off the bat of Knight, caught in left. Griffith throws home, not in time. Holly scores after she reached second, then third on a pair of wild pitches.
Well, what a great piece of hitting by Sophia Knight. She is more of a lefty slapper, short game player, but look at her just playing to the situation. Ends up being able to find one to get underneath, drive it to the outfield, sacrifice fly to a great execution to produce the first run of this game.
2 gone, bases clear for Alana Leach. It's particularly perplexing for Smith, considering yesterday in 5 2/3 innings against Tennessee, 68% of her pitches were strikes. And now the pitching coach, Jamie Allred Stokes, out of the dugout for the Hoos.
A lot has been put on her, and it has been a lot recently. Virginia has just continued to play a lot of high stakes, high duress, pressure-filled innings, and this is exactly, how they wanted to use Taylor Smith coming into this weekend. When we talked to Joanna Harden, the head coach of Virginia, she said Taylor Smith will be in high leverage innings all weekend. She loves the way that she pitched in the quarterfinal in the ACC tournament against Virginia Tech in front of 1,800 people. Big crowd, night game on their home field as Virginia got to host the ACC tournament. Felt like she really rose to that moment in the quarterfinal game, and she has been so good here this weekend.
Mixed in a no-hitter over her last 6 appearances. Went 5 innings against NC State. And at the time, that was her longest outing of the season. Of course, yesterday went 5 2/3 against this Lady Vols team. Way behind here on Leach, 3-0. Yeah, that's a walk on 4 pitches. Second free pass of the inning.
I have to believe that Taylor Smith is just a little bit fatigued today with the way that we saw her throw on Friday. Really electric stuff, good command. I mean, yesterday in Virginia's 2 games, that was a long day for them. They played Tennessee early, then had a hard-fought back-and-forth game with Indiana. A lot of emotion in that game, a long game. Taylor Smith was a big part of both of those games yesterday.
Well, you said the word high leverage. It's so rare that we see a freshman be put in such high leverage positions so frequently, Amanda, over the last 2 weeks of the year. And there were a lot of high leverage games for Virginia, who got in with an at-large bid after finishing 6th in the ACC. That just missed to Elsa Morrison.
And that's one that really needs to be called. I mean, we talk about the small strike zone, and haven't been many that have been missed. I do think that they've been balls, but right there at the bottom of the zone, you could tell that was more over the heart of the plate.
Morrison rips it off the glove of Cabral in the left with a 2-out base hit.
Well, and that's why the one before has to get called, because Taylor Smith is then forced to bring this curveball up in the zone, and she crushes it. Cabral was playing right behind the bag, anticipating something to the pull side. That was 77 miles an hour off the bat at Cabral's forehand, and just a tough one for her to field, even though she was expecting something hard to come at her at the hot corner.
Time called by Karen Weekly. First hit of the game for Tennessee. They have drawn 3 walks. Taylon Holly, of course, earlier in the inning came around to score on 2 wild pitches and a sac fly to left.
You know, the post-game press conference yesterday after the Indiana game, Eden Bingham played a big part in that win. She had come in relief, and remember, Virginia played 2 games yesterday, and Eden Bingham said, we're exhausted. We've not had much sleep in the last 24 hours, and you know, this is what we're here for. We've prepared for it, but she did say, you know, we are exhausted. I mean, the Indiana games that Virginia has played in, each of those games went 3 hours or longer. So they've had some long, tough, hard-fought games that have just probably been emotionally exhausting as well as physically exhausting this weekend.
Late into the night as well. Up the middle, could be a double play. Rather just needing 1 there with the 2 outs. Stepping on the bag call. And Tennessee strands 2. They do get 1 though in the 3rd, and the Vols strike first. Welcome back to the NCAA Softball Regional presented by Capital One. Regional final pitting Tennessee and Virginia, getting set to start the bottom of the third. Vols with a 1-run lead. Now joined by the Cavalier head coach Joanna Hardin, making her third straight trip to the NCAA tournament. Coach, you've played some really intense games this weekend. Couple of late nights.
Yep.
What have you and your staff done to keep your team fresh, given all the ball you've played so far this weekend?
Oh, man. Our theme for the year has been competitive greatness, and it's on display. You get up, you grind, you hustle, you get after it. You get a bagel, you get some peanut butter, and then you get going. We just have worked all season for this. So, you get a horse, and we just keep knocking, keep knocking. A good friend of mine always says, just keep knocking, and the door's going to open, and that's all we're doing right now.
Speaking of the horse, you guys have hit 8 home runs in the regional this weekend. Where do you feel like this power surge is coming from with all these home runs from your team?
I think we're seeing great pitches, and we're on time for them. So that's, Coach T does a great job of getting them ready to go, and I think we've just hit some mistakes and we haven't missed. So that's the name of the game right now. The pitching is unbelievable here and all over the country, and so once you get a mistake on the plate, you've got to be on time and ready, and they've done a great job with that, and so we're going to keep looking and hunting.
Is all that baggage getting heavy for you?
I'm used to it by now. I haven't had the horse yet, so, here we are. I've been training for this all year.
That's right, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. Go Hoos.
One thing that oh no, she's still going to be listening to us. Good job, Coach. I'm sure those biceps are burning right at the same time. Can't take the headset off because the glove is still on it. Oh my gosh. But one thing that Eden Bigham talked about also in the post-game press conference when she said how exhausted they were, that to prepare for this regional, they spent late nights inner squatting until 10 o'clock last week. And I think they probably looked at the game time and schedule and realized that our regional was one of the latest to start every day. So she had them practice late and inner squad to emulate playing under the lights and being up late. And Eden said also, we play well under the lights. It's obviously going to be a day game today, and if it goes to Game 7, the if necessary game also be a day game, but they prepared for this.
(2-0) to Madison Green.
We're going to see some if necessary games today across the country already. I think that Florida State is playing in their Game 7 against UCF. They forced that. Duke beat Arizona and Durham, so they're going to force that if necessary game.
That is what Virginia is trying to force here this afternoon. UVA needs a win to extend their season and force a Game 7. Strike 2 after Pickens fell behind 3-0.
That is a crisp pitch to the inside corner. When you're talking about locating 75 miles an hour, it needs to be on a corner just like that she threw to Green. Look at how much space Green has given herself on the inner half, and still Pickens is going to be able to go to that drop ball. So Carlin Pickens getting herself right back into the count. This is strike 2, 75 miles an hour, boom, paints the corner, and then she gets her to chase with this drop ball also inside. That drop ball just fell off the table, 6 inches of down break.
Taylor Smith comes up in the 9th spot. Got her first hit of the season last night for UVA in the win against Indiana. You mentioned the offensive explosion in our conversation with Joe Hardin for the Hoos in this tournament. It has been significant. They hit .221 over their last 10 games, averaging under 4 runs per game. That was entering the NCAA. In this tournament, they have averaged 7 runs per game and have hit 8 homers, one of those coming off of Carlin Pickens in the winner's bracket meeting yesterday between these two teams.
And when you look at their numbers for the regional, like you were just talking about, their batting average isn't all that different from what they've hit on the season, but it's the slugging percentage and the home run rate and how many runs that they've been driving in with one swing that is really what jumps off the stat page.
Strikeout. Fourth of the game for Pickens.
Gets a check swing, a little bit of a late call here, but a pitch that I thought should have been a strike call anyway, regardless of the swing. Rise ball, low and out, clips the corner, low through the zone. Smith can't decide, so should have been a strike regardless, but fourth strikeout, first time through the order for Carlin Pickens.
Second time through now for the Who's, leading off with Jade Hilton. Who struck the first pitch she saw from Pickens pretty well, but it was just right at the shortstop Bella Faw.
As this game has gone on, Carlin Pickens has gotten better with her locations, and coming into the regional, Karen Weekly talked to us about how important it is for Carlin to get off to a good start, that if she struggles, it's likely to be early in her appearance, like in the first inning or early in the game of her start, and then she really settles in. And you've seen her work through that. In the first inning, it was 3 up, 3 down, but had some hard hits or hard contact off of her, had a walk in the second inning, but now you can see her settling in to this third and really finding the corners.
First start for Carlin Pickens since April 25th against Alabama. In that game, the Lady Vols were run ruled 12-zip. Jade Hilton did not go around. 3-1 count. Pickens gave up 5 runs, though just 2 earned in that loss to Bama. And now the second base runner of the day is aboard for Virginia.
First baseman, number 19.
So that was her last start. That was 22 days ago for Carlin Pickens. She had then made 6 consecutive appearances out of the bullpen prior to this start today in the regional final in Knoxville. Hilton's going to go. Throw down from Morrison is late. And the game-tying run in scoring position. And that is significant, because as Amanda alluded to, Virginia, while their average has not wowed, they've been exceptional in situational hitting, batting .524 with runners in scoring position in the tournament.
It's a well-located pitch there, and talked about this in Macy Eaton's last at-bat, but just 1 for 12 in the regional, but a lot of hard contact. It just has been a weekend where she's not had a lot of luck results-wise in the hits column. But she's had good at-bats, been pretty selective. You can tell her approach has been really locked in, and had 4 RBIs, which broke her record that she set last season as a sophomore.
She has had a career year at the plate, not just breaking the program's single season RBI record, but entering the tournament, her batting average was up 100 points from last year. Tying run at second base, 2-2. First team All-ACC first baseman against the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year. 50th pitch for Pickens. Just missed. Morrison tried to frame it up, and instead a full count.
That was a great take by Macy Eaton, especially pitch before she swung at would have been one that likely would have been a called strike had she not, but understanding that that one was a little bit lower, a little bit more outside, and forces Pickens to pitch this full pitch here.
You mentioned it, Macy Eaton's numbers haven't been on pace in this tournament with what she has produced throughout the course of the regular season, but she still has not struck out in the NCAA tournament. Putting together a good AB here against Pickens. Shoots it into left center, down for a base hit. Hilton will score. Eaton digging for 2. She is in with a double to tie the game in Knoxville.
You mentioned it. Virginia has been so good with runners in scoring position, and what an at-bat by Macy Eaton, working it to a full count. Gets this pitch and doesn't get all of it. She's had harder hit balls in this regional, but nothing to show for it. And finally, she gets one to fall. Hilton got herself, remember, into scoring position with that steal and ties up this game.
And now the go-ahead run in scoring position as Bella Cabral comes to the plate. After Virginia's 11th two-out hit of the tournament. 1-0. Cabral pops it up behind home. It'll find the seats. Just keep knocking is what Joanna Hardin told us at the start of this inning. It's been the theme of Virginia all year long, and especially in this tournament. Did that hit Cabral? Yes. Now, Carlin Pickens thought that it hit the bat, I believe. And now Karen Weekly's out of the dugout. Some jeers from the Lady Vols faithful. And now she wants to chat with Anthony Small, our first base umpire. It was hard to tell, Amanda, live, but it sounded almost like that pitch made contact twice. Super slow-mo here. It's hard to tell there, but an immediate reaction from Cabral. Let's try to listen in now. Did you hear 2 there?
I thought I did hear 2. Yeah, the shoulder for sure, but then it sounded like something just before that. But she definitely, you know, felt every part of that 75-mile-an-hour pitch into her shoulder.
It's possible it could have been the chest protector of Elsa Morrison, the second sound.
Yeah, and Karen wanting to know if she actually attempted at this pitch with a potential check swing strike call there as well, and it seems like that's really what Karen Weekly is mostly asking about. I think it would be one of those questionable check swing calls that sometimes you're going to get go your way, sometimes not. If she offered at it and the ball hits her, that would be a strike.
That pitch reached nearly 75 miles per hour from Carlin Pickens. As it stands right now, it's a hit by pitch. Bella Cabral at first base. Long deliberation here with Megan Rabin and the rest of our umpiring crew. But now an explanation for Karen Weekly.
That looked like a hit by pitch to me. I feel like this is the right call. They're talking it over, want to make sure that nobody else saw anything different. They're explaining it to Karen Weekly about the conclusion that they came up with, and you could tell that she's motioning with her body as if there was a swing into that pitch. Important to think about, though, this has happened with 2 outs. I mean, Carlin Pickens had 2 strikeouts to start this inning. 8, 9, 2 Ks, looking like she was getting into a groove. And then another walk has come back to haunt one of the teams in this regional, something that we have seen every single game of this regional.
After retiring 8 of the first 9 batters she faced with 4 strikeouts, Carlin Pickens has now allowed 3 consecutive base runners, including an RBI double to tie the game by Macy Eaton, who now represents the go-ahead run in scoring position. Meanwhile, Aaron Newer getting loose. Oh, 1 to Reagan Hickey. Hickey, one of 5 different Who's hitters to tally a home run so far in the tournament. Check swing on the 1-1. Appeal to Anthony Small. She did not go.
These check swings are important for Virginia, that they're able to hold their barrels back. I mean, not swinging through those and helping Carlin Pickens out, that's a big deal. I mean, it might seem like something small in the whole scheme of things, like, oh, a check swing didn't go your way, but their ability in that quick reaction to decide whether or not 75 miles an hour coming at you that they're going to swing and hold back is so important to success in their at-bats.
Low ball 3. And another full count. The 3rd this inning for Carlin Pickens. Battling back for a strikeout, the 5th of the day for Carlin Pickens.
With a spot in Super Regionals on the line, these two teams are going to be digging deep. There is going to be moment after moment, like Carlin Pickens stepping up for this strikeout here with 2 runners on to get out of the inning after Virginia ties it up.
The drama, the anticipation of the Super Regionals, the road to the Women's College World Series.
Super Regionals begin Thursday. ESPN, ABC, and ESPN2 all through Memorial Day weekend. 3 teams have already punched their tickets to this year's Super Regional. Oklahoma has the nation's longest active Super Regional streak at 15, followed closely by Texas, the reigning national champions. And Georgia punched their 4th straight Super Regional ticket today. They await the winner of Tennessee and Virginia. Tennessee seeking their 4th straight trip to a Super in a 1-1 battle here with Virginia, top 4. And Taylor Smith back in the circle for the Who's, who have never been to a Super.
You know that Georgia might secretly be pulling for Virginia here for the simple fact that if Virginia wins, then Georgia would get to host that super regional. But if Tennessee wins, with them being a top 8 seed, then Tennessee would be hosting Georgia for that super regional matchup.
She has 12 seconds to get in the box. Play.
2-0 count to Mackenzie Butt, who has 2 hits in the tournament, including a solo bomb off Taylor Smith yesterday.
Seeming like a little gamesmanship going on here with the pitch clock situation that I feel like we need to get cleaned up ASAP. I don't know what's happening with Tennessee getting into the box and Taylor Smith kind of waiting to get the pitch call, but we just need to get a rhythm back into this game going with the 20 seconds that we have in between pitches. There's the pitch clock. We're now at 8 seconds.
Well, it appeared Megan Rabin was trying to get a handle on it. There were a couple of warnings there early in this at-bat from Butt. Now, who the warnings were to is up for debate. Nonetheless, a hitter's count here to Butt, leading off the inning for Tennessee. Hard hit to short, snared by the multi-time All-ACC shortstop Jade Hilton.
Yeah, it's a good sign for Virginia's defense at this point in the game because they had really struggled with errors in the first inning of games at this regional. They had made 6 errors at the regional altogether. 5 of those errors had come in the first inning. It just seemed like every game that they played, they were kicking the ball around in the first inning early. Maybe some nerves early on, but they played through that here in this game. No errors today for Virginia.
Well, remember, their first 2 games of the tournament, they got behind by a combined score of 8-0 in the first inning. Trailed Indiana 3-0 in their opening round victory against the Hoosiers, which required extra innings. And then yesterday against Tennessee, trailed 5-0 after the first. Battled back, ended up falling 7-5. And had to come through the elimination bracket, beating Indiana for a second time late last night. Bunt is dropped down by Dodge, foul. Strike 2. Dodge rips this into right field for a 1-out single. Second base hit of the day for Tennessee.
It's a 1-2 count. You can see the pitch location here by Taylor Smith. That is just out more over the heart of the plate, not up enough with that rise ball that's been so effective. And been talking about her last 6 appearances and only given up 3 earned runs coming into this game. Just that rise ball has been a big part of her success. See it there a little bit lower in the zone. Looked like that one easily could have been a strike call right at the top of the zone, but she did not get it called. But that rise ball, opponents of her last 6 appearances hitting under 100 against her rise ball.
One count to Gabby Leach. It's going to be a glove change here, it appears, for Virginia's second baseman, Alex Call.
Her glove. Interested in that. That is another thing you don't see every day, a little glove change in the middle of an inning. I'm wondering what happened there to her normal glove. Guess we'll never know, huh? It'll be a mystery.
Chopper, underhand toss, Smith, 2 outs. Dodge advances to second base, and now the go-ahead run in scoring position for Tennessee.
Number 27, Taylor Holly.
Umpire at second base had held out his arm on that pitch, and I'm wondering if it was the hitter being out of the box on contact. That was good. We have 4 umpires here at the regionals all weekend, and he held out his arm, meaning the hitter was out of the box on contact. So Virginia is going to get to pick if they want that out at first base or if they want a redo up at the plate.
And they have chosen the result of the play,
right,
which is out at first. So 2 gone. Taylon Holly digs in. Remember, she walked and then took 2 bases on 2 different wild pitches. It goes off the glove of Alex Call and scores Dodge. The new leather of Call failing her in that moment, and she says, "My bad," to Taylor Smith.
A new glove. It really does feel different if it's the one that you've been using for the entire year. You now have a new tool on your hand, and it might be, I don't know, maybe her normal glove is 12 inches and this one is 11, and that can make the difference in a line drive being caught or off of her glove. It just didn't seem like she saw that ball well at all, and actually she just changed gloves back again to go back to the other one. Very interesting what's going on with this glove situation with Alex Call, but a missed opportunity for now leads to Tennessee run.
Seventh error of the regional for Virginia. Here's Bella Thaw in the 9-hole. Virginia has scored in 3 different innings against Tennessee so far in the regional, dating back to yesterday. Tennessee has scored in the following inning all 3 times, as they did again here in the 4th. Lady Vols again with a 1-run lead. Welcome back to Knoxville. Regional final between Tennessee and Virginia. 1-run lead for the Lady Vols, who just need 1 win today to advance to their 4th straight Super Regional. We are now joined by Karen Weekly. Coach, appreciate your time as always. messaging to your team coming into this game and a rematch of a highly competitive game yesterday against Virginia?
Nothing yesterday mattered. You know, that game's history, it could have been 10 years ago. And we couldn't focus on that, couldn't focus on the results and think we were going to come in here and just get a win again. Both teams have a dream in front of them. Both teams are going to fight tooth and nail. And honestly, it's going to be the warrior that surrenders the outcome the most and can just stay in the battle pitch to pitch without getting lost in the scoreboard.
Coach, how did you decide who was going to get the start in this one?
You know, Carlin's experienced, right? I mean, it's her 4th year here. She's a senior. She's been in these moments. She just knows how to navigate these things. And I believe the more Carlin throws, the better she gets.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Carlin Pickens making her first start in 22 days.
Off the bottom of the floor for the Cavaliers. The designated player, number 12, Hannah Weisman.
Has looked sharp mostly, however, second time through the order, things got a little bit hairy. Walked the batter, gave up a double, then hit a batter. Set down 8 of the first 9 whose batters she faced. And then allowed 3 in a row to reach in the 3rd. That is how Virginia got a run back in this 2-1 game as Hannah Weismer swings through strike 1.
You know, looking at her numbers year over year, Carlin Pickens, her walk percentage is the highest that it's been any year in her career at 11.2%. But her K percentage is also the highest it's ever been at almost 34%. However, at the same time, the amount of home runs that she's given up, that home run percentage is just about double what it was for the last 2 years. So giving up more home runs, walking more people, but at the same time striking out more people. So able to work out of some of those jams because of that high strikeout rate.
Has 5 strikeouts today. Has given up 3 homers over the last 6 appearances, including to Virginia yesterday. 2-run bomb by Alex Call, who awaits on deck, batting second in this inning for Virginia.
You know, it's kind of cool because Carlin Pickens told me last year that every day, or every game day, I should say, her dad will send her a text with the game day keys to success. And oftentimes it's a unique, or not oftentimes, every time it's a unique message that he sends to her before the game. Sometimes it's play like a 10-year-old little girl. You know, like that's always been the mantra, is to remind her of that, is that's not going to feel good going into Weismer's leg. But he'll text her on every game day, and he caught her up until her sophomore year. Her dad was still catching her.
Oh, right off the ankle bone of Weismer. She pointed into that dugout too, Amanda, saying, I need some help.
You know, oftentimes with a drop ball pitcher, when they throw their drop ball inside, you see these things happen. It's the swing path and a drop ball coming in low and inside, and the way that it hits it, it just goes directly into that front leg, and it feels terrible, especially a pitch coming in at 75 miles an hour. You saw how quickly she went down.
She's old school. No ankle guard for Hannah Weismer. It's a Virginia team that has dealt with injury to 3 different starters this year. They're without Kelsey Hackett again today, injured in the ACC tournament. Hannah Weismer is going to stay in here, despite the hard foul off the ankle bone. Despite all the adversity the Hoos have been through this season, their first 40-win campaign since the 04-05 year. 2-2. That was checked off the bat of Weismer.
Yeah, so when you're hitting against Carlin Pickens and 75 is coming at you on the inside corner, I mean, that's a lot to deal with. She goes low with it, into her shin, up with it, off the barrel, and then comes in and brings in a changeup at 65. I mean, you can see how perfectly that changeup was set up because Weismer thinking about 75 in, having to get her barrel quickly there, and then the changeup comes through, and she is way out in front of that pitch. Totally fooled her, and that's why that changeup is so important for Carlin Pickens.
Call on a hop to Dodge, who made the move over to third base from second base at the beginning of this tournament. One of 3 infield changes for Karen Weekly has been sharp all weekend long in the hot corner, 2 down in the 4th. Jaden Griffith riding a 4-game hit streak. Has come up with some big hits in this tournament. Two-one is sent into right field, and a 5-game hit streak rolling for the freshman.
Her hands have just been so quiet, short to the ball. These at-bats that Griffith have had, I mean, she has just been a force at the bottom of the lineup for Virginia. Started out the regional in the 9-hole, and then they bumped her up to the 7 because her at-bats have been so good, continuing to find different ways to get on base.
Griffith can run, has 5 stolen bases this year. Meanwhile, a 1-0 count to Madison Green. Oh, that hit Green. And she will take her base. This is eerily similar to a couple of innings ago when Bella Cabral was hit on a check swing. Karen Weekly came out, argued that maybe Cabral's bat went around. Not much of an argument this time, though, from the Tennessee head coach, and now 2 on and 2 out for Virginia.
You can see how far off the plate that Green is as well. And the umpire, you know, had said that that hit off of her stomach. It actually hit off of her elbow. It does look like she held the barrel back, and that ball was fully in the batter's box, because you could see how far off that Green was off of the plate. So another 2-out hit by pitch. There's been a free pass in every inning now, except the first.
Well, Virginia scored their lone run of the game so far with 2 outs in the 3rd. Now they have the tying run in second base. Go-ahead run is aboard with 2 outs in the 4th. Taylor Smith comes up swinging.
If you're Carlin Pickens in this situation, 2 out, 2 on, and against a more inexperienced hitter in Taylor Smith, you have to go right at her. Jade Hilton, the top of the order for Virginia, is on deck, a 1-run game. Like, there's no messing around in this at bat right now. Carlin Pickens has to attack Taylor Smith. She does not want to see the top of the order for Virginia come up in this inning.
This is just the 6th at bat of the year for Taylor Smith. Got the first hit of her season last night in a win against Indiana.
If I'm Carlin Pickens, I don't want to try to be too fine here. I am challenging her, even if it means right down the heart of the plate. And this is why Megan Rhodes-Smith is going to come out and talk to Carlin right now of, hey, we've got to go at her. You have to challenge her. My dad used to tell me when I'd fall behind in counts, like, just throw it right down the middle of the plate. Like, you'd rather do that than walk the hitter that's up there, because a good hitter even, is going to find ways to get themselves out. So challenge the hitter. Find the strike zone here. You have to, with the All-American Jade Hilton on deck.
Four free passes today for the two-time All-American pitcher Carlin Pickens. Behind 2-1 to Smith. 3-1. Jade Hilton, who already has 2 home runs in the regional, awaits on deck. And that misses, ball 4. Pickens cannot believe it.
That's not a strike to me. I mean, you have to make it more obvious for the umpire, who has been a little bit inconsistent, to call that a strike. There's no reason to not get more of the plate. You just don't want to try to be too fine in this situation, and this is being way too fine. Challenge her, not here, but down the heart of the plate. Make her put the ball in play.
Hilton to short, flip to second. That beats the slide of Smith. And Pickens pitches out of a bases loaded jam. It is still 2-1 Tennessee. Oklahoma City, the epicenter of the college softball universe and home to the Women's College World Series, awaits the final 8 teams. We will whittle it down to 32 by the end of the day. Women's College World Series begins Thursday, May 28th, noon Eastern on ESPN. For more information about the Women's College World Series. You can go to ncaa.com, the official home of all collegiate championships. Already 4 teams punching their tickets to the Super Regional, all 4 out of the Southeastern Conference. Number 1 overall seed Alabama awaits the winner out of the LSU Regional. Texas awaiting the winner out of College Station. Florida will match up with the winner out of Lubbock. Ole Miss and Texas Tech will play later on today right here on ESPN2. And Georgia will face the winner of Tennessee and Virginia. Taylor Smith, 5th inning of work. Off the glove at first of Eaton and into right field. A leadoff base hit for Sophia Knight.
Yeah, after that last half inning, Harlan Pickens and the pitching coach Megan Rhodes Smith went into the bullpen together, had a long chat, just kind of talked things over. Harlan Pickens looked pretty animated in the bullpen, and she's going to throw some here with her pitching coach and just try to probably figure out some command issues here.
Is that rare, Amanda, to see the starter go into the bullpen middle of an outing? She's thrown 75 pitches.
Yeah, not very rare. You'll see, especially a pitcher that's just trying to figure something out, you'll see them go down to the bullpen. That's when you know that something's a little bit off. I mean, I feel like that's definitely a flag that is waved of I need to go down there and work on some things, and not something that I did until my freshman year when I had a tough outing, and Coach Evans was like, my head coach at A&M was like, you're going to go to the bullpen and work that out, right? And I was like, well, I wasn't going to. I didn't know that was an option, but I'll run down there right now.
Matt Schumacher, the former Big 12 pitcher of the year. Amanda Scarborough with you. 1-run lead for Tennessee in the top of the 5th. The base stealer Knight aboard for Alana Leach.
The way that Taylor Smith has really fought through this game. I've seen her just look so good on Friday, so good yesterday, pitch some hard-fought innings, have some deep at-bats, but I like the way that she's just figuring things out today. It has not been easy for her. It's definitely been a different outing than what we saw from her on Friday and Saturday, where she was a little bit fresher, but you can tell that Coach Harden believes in her, just continuing to keep her out there. And even though it does not have her absolute best stuff like we've seen in other outings, she's still figuring out a way.
Almost induced a swing there from Leach. She has been relied upon more significantly over these last 5 games than ever before this year in her freshman campaign. She has thrown in 5 straight games for Virginia. Leach in the left, and coming in and making a diving catch is Jaden Griffith. And she's a little bit shaken up as she takes her glove off and doubles over that hand. Maybe jammed it, Amanda, as she went in to the grass to make that catch.
It kind of landed with her full body down on her wrist or on her hand as she went down to catch that. Did not get a great read and just tried to recover and was going to do whatever it took to get an out there.
Virginia's already down a starting outfielder. Kelsey Hackett has not played since the ACC tournament, suffered a season-ending injury. They've already had to make some shuffles in the outfield. It's a good sign to see Joe Hart and her head coach smiling during this conversation. Boy, how good has Jaden Griffith been? Riding a 5-game hit streak, 4 of those in this tournament, and she's made some excellent plays out in left field as well. Shaking it off, leather back on, let's play ball.
Yeah, she, wants to make sure that she can squeeze her glove. You think about what a jammed finger or a jammed hand kind of feels like. You want to be sure that you can squeeze your mitt in the event that a ball comes out to you.
And it's come out to her a lot in this tournament. That was the 8th putout for Griffith. Now, don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA softball regionals, continuing all throughout the day and night. We'll take you to the best live action on the 7 Innings Live show over on the ESPN app. You can catch every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series, only on the ESPN networks. Carlin Pickens trying to bring Tennessee back to Oklahoma City, where they were national semifinalists a year ago. 1-0 count to Elsa Morrison, who has twice reached today against Taylor Smith. Coming into the day, Smith had thrown 70 innings this year. She has pitched in 5 straight games, spanning 17 2/3. So when you think about the percentage of her usage over the course of the season, a large concentration of that has come in the postseason, ACC tournament, and now in the NCAA regional. Ahead in the count here to Morrison, her 80th pitch upstairs.
And when she's throwing that rise ball that she throws so well and usually gets some good chase on that pitch, Tennessee has done a good job of making her bring that pitch down in the zone. Haven't chased very much at all against that pitch. They've been very prepared for it, but that has 13 to 15 inches of vertical break. You see a chase there by Morrison, but I mean, that rise ball that she throws has very good movement to it.
Another good at bat here from Morrison. 7th pitch to the AB coming. Freshman from right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. Won the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state a couple of years ago. Was that a strike called? No. And a stolen base for Knight, the team leading 15th of the year for the transfer from Boise State. Boy, that looked awfully close, didn't it?
I just don't know where it is. This is why people have been so frustrated with what seems like a small strike zone, because that, to me, looks like a strike. Elsa Morrison is tall, but that looks like it gets her knees.
So now a runner in scoring position with 1 out. Morrison lasers it foul. Tennessee needing some insurance, perhaps, feeling it anyway. 0 for 4 so far with runners in scoring position against Virginia. in the dirt for a walk. What an at-bat by Morrison.
Such a good at-bat. There was a questionable ball call to me mixed in there, but trusted her eyes. Remember, she's the catcher, so she has a really good awareness of where the strike zone is today, catching all of Carlin Pickens' pitches. That was an at-bat that just really started to wear Taylor Smith down. She just did not chase her rise ball that she wanted to, took some good curve balls, made her throw a little bit of everything, and mix things up to finally draw that walk.
Your attention, please. Pitch running at first base, number 11, Zoe Schuler.
Zoe Schuler will come into pinch run for Morrison at first base as Emma Clark comes to the plate here. Homered off Taylor Smith yesterday. Both of the runs that Taylor Smith gave up to Tennessee on Saturday were solo homers to Clark and Butt, both due up here with 1 down and 2 on.
You can see the at-bats get better by Tennessee just as this game has gone on. They've had a really good game plan for Taylor Smith to not chase her rise ball, make her throw something else. They felt like Virginia did the first time that they faced Tennessee, that they were more aggressive than what they were expecting. And so Taylor Smith has been going more to her changeup early in the game. Not one of her best pitches, but a pitch that she's kind of trying to get uncomfortable with and forcing herself to throw to mix in there to keep Tennessee off balance. But the one pitch that she's been able to throw for a strike against these righties is her curveball. So Tennessee likely going to start looking for that outer half.
To short, Hilton flips to second, the throw to first, not in time. There was a little bit of a hitch from Hilton on the flip to call, and that allows Clark to beat the throw and avoid the double play. But Hardin, the head coach for Virginia, is going to challenge this, I believe.
Virginia is challenging the call at first base. The following play is under review.
Yeah, that little bit of a shuffle when she went down to grab that ground ball, that split second was the difference of her being safer out at first base. That's close at first, but I do think that is the right call for her to be safe, at least with that first look. That was a hard hit ground ball too. That exit velocity was 79 off the bat. So great opportunity to turn a double play. Good hustle by Emma Clark to get down the line. She runs well, but it was that extra shuffle at second base by Hilton that made this a close play. I don't know if there's enough to overturn that for me.
Just, again, a game of inches for Virginia's infield, Amanda. They have yet to turn a double play in this regional. They've been close a number of times.
That's a great look right there. Just getting the front of the bag. Great job by Emma Clark to get the front of the bag with her front toe.
And for Taylor Smith, assuming this holds, it's an extra batter at least that you got to face here in the 5th. In her longest outing in a month, at least in terms of pitches thrown. The review process has come to a conclusion. Here is Megan Rabin.
After review, the call on the field is confirmed. The runner is safe. Virginia has 1 challenge remaining.
So runners at the corners now and 2 down for Mackenzie Butt.
The first baseman, number 98, Mackenzie Butt.
She was one of the changes that Karen Weekly made to the starting lineup coming into the regional. Put her back over at first base. Felt like they needed her bat in the middle of this lineup. And you know Karen Weekly is thinking about this situational hitting opportunity for Butt, hoping she can come through. They have left 15 runners on base so far in the regional. 1-1.
Yeah, a one-run lead in the year of 2026 with offenses being the way that they are just does not feel comfortable, even if you have the best pitching staff in the country.
And what have you said all weekend? It matters who bats last in the postseason. And in this game, Virginia is the home team. They will bat in the bottom of the 7th. 1-1 up the middle, and Butt delivers. An RBI base knock, driving in Sophia Knight.
The best pitch to hit for these righties is going to be the curveball that Taylor Smith offers up Mackenzie Butt here that hangs out more over the plate. Just a short swing by Butt, not trying to do too much with it. Gets it through the infield for another Tennessee run to extend their lead.
And now Tennessee, Amanda, taking advantage of multiple miscues in the field for Virginia. Think back a couple of innings ago, Virginia had an error over at second base. Tennessee finding a way to come in and score. And then earlier in this inning, Virginia had a chance for a double play turn. A hitch with the pitch to second base allows the inning to continue. Tennessee takes advantage. 2-run lead for the Lady Vols. Still threatening here with Ella Dodge coming to the plate.
You can see how much confidence that they have in the freshman of Taylor Smith. And there's even 2 seniors sitting in the wings in the bullpen with Courtney Lane and Eden Bigham. And Eden Bigham's in the bullpen right now, just kind of hanging out. But this is how much that they believe in what Taylor Smith offers, that even deep into this game, 3rd time through the order, they're continuing to keep Taylor Smith out there.
She has thrown 15 innings so far in the NCAA tournament, by far the most of any Hoos pitcher. 1-0 count to Dodge. Singleton came around to score back in the 4th. You heard Karen Weekly in our mid-game interview talk about the team who surrenders the outcome best is going to win this game. Surrender was Ella Dodge's word coming into this season. Had a total mindset shift in her sophomore campaign. Coming off a big freshman year in which she was electric in the postseason run for Tennessee. She hit 300 last year from May on through the Women's College World Series, ending with a national semifinalist finish. Has 2 on and 2 out here in the top of the 5th. 2-2 count and a 2-run lead for Tennessee. And Reagan Hickey calls time.
Again, here we are back with the timeouts called. I've seen that a lot this weekend. I've actually seen more violations, pitch or action clock violations this weekend across a lot of the different games. I'm surprised that we aren't getting any here.
Dodge to second base, call over to first. Tennessee plates another. Vols by 2 as we head to the home half of the 5th.
Tennessee in the 5th, 1 run on 2 hits, no Virginia errors, and 2 runners left on base.
Two-time SEC Pitcher of the Year, Carlin Pickens, getting the start today for Tennessee, the most experienced pitcher on staff. Going up with her rise, slow with her change, down with her drop, getting these 6 strikeouts that she has accumulated. 3 walks, 2 hit by pitches that she has also allowed, has created some traffic around her for her defense to work around. Just 2 hits, kind of an interesting line here, right? 5 free passes, 6 strikeouts, and 2 hits given up by Pickens.
Got some extra work in the bullpen during that last half inning when the Tennessee offense was out at the plate. After struggling with her control a little bit over the last 2 innings. Five free passes issued by Pickens, including 2 hit batters. Strike 1 to Macy Eaton. Picked up her 2nd hit of the tournament off Pickens in the 3rd, driving in the lone run of the game so far for Virginia.
Hitting that same spot and back-to-back pitches there, getting a little bit off the edge and getting the strike call by the home plate umpire has gotten her right back into this count. Trying to live on the edge and not bring these pitches too much over the heart of the plate.
7th strikeout for Pickens.
Got some calls in that at bat to get herself back into the count, and then gets Eaton to chase this even further off the plate. Little low rise ball in the outside corner, screwball moving away from her, screwball action to get the strikeout of Eaton. That is a big out against Macy Eaton.
One-0 count to Bella Cabral. Those of you tuning in looking for Texas Tech Ole Miss, that game's going to start over on ESPN News in about 5 minutes. We will get you out there on ESPN2 at the conclusion of this game. Regional final between Tennessee and Virginia. Another 2-strike count here to start the 5th for Pickens. Patient at bats from Virginia over the last 2 innings. First 2 innings, just 29 pitches for Pickens. Next 2 innings, over 34.
Catcher number 17, Reagan Hickey.
Reagan Hickey with 3 hits in the regional. On an upswing over the last week or 2. Came into the tournament with hits in 6 of her last 7 games. Redshirt freshman out of Atlanta, Georgia. Trying to start a 2-out rally in the 5th. Just foul. Boy, that was just foul. Nearly hopping over the third base bag on the line, and instead a foul ball.
Well, with 2 outs is where Virginia has had their most success against Pickens in this game. A couple of 2-out rallies in the 3rd and the 4th.
Pickens comes back with her 8th strikeout.
Just the second 3-up, 3-down inning for Carlin Pickens in a time that is needed after Tennessee grabbed the lead in the top of the 5th inning. 2 strikeouts in the 5th inning for Carlin Pickens, and Tennessee keeps the lead.
This is what everyone is chasing. We began the weekend with 64 teams. By the end of the day, we'll be down to 16. And already 5 teams have punched their ticket to the Super Regional, all 5 out of the Southeastern Conference. Arkansas becoming the latest team to do so. They await the winner out of the Durham Regional. Duke and Arizona battling it out on the East Coast. Meanwhile, here in Knoxville, Tennessee commanding a 2-run lead over Virginia. Winner will face Georgia in the Super. Over 100 pitches for Taylor Smith. Last time she reached 100 was April 11th. What a warrior she's been for the Hoos in the Circle all postseason.
It's really been impressive, just the emergence of her in the postseason and the way that she's pitched as of late. I mean, just a competitor in the Circle. She wants the ball in the big moments. I think that Virginia has to be pleased with what they've seen from Taylor Smith, and thinking about that she is just a freshman and they get 3 more years with her after this.
3-1 to Dodge. Popped up foul. It'll find the seats. I beg your pardon, Gabby Leach.
We mentioned this before about Taylor Smith, but it was a while ago, and it's worth talking about because the strategy behind the forethought of the Virginia coaching staff to prepare for this regional 3 weeks ago is something that really stood out to me that Coach Harden shared with us about prepping for their left-handed hitters.
Leach in the field of play, foul. Cabral makes the catch, one down.
The Virginia coaching staff 3 weeks ago started to look ahead at things and kind of noticed, okay, we're not going to be a top 16 national seed, but it's very likely we're going to get sent to Tennessee, and they have a lot of left-handed hitters in their lineup. Well, Taylor Smith is very good at throwing to left-handed hitters because of her hard curveball in that she can bring at 68 and then get them to chase a rise ball up in the zone. So they have been preparing for this regional against North Carolina State, Liberty, in the ACC tournament, talking about how can we attack lefties, giving her more time, more opportunities, and anticipation for this matchup. See, that pitch right there that she can sneak in at 67, 68 is really what makes her so effective and just opens up the outside corner and up in the zone at 63, 64 with her rise ball.
0-2. Outside ball one to Taylon Holly.
Coach Harden said that it's her stubbornness of Taylor Smith that makes her so good. Something that you love to hear an adjective describe a pitcher, stubborn.
Holly in the air to left field. It could go. Yes, sir! Solo bomb. Taylon Holly gives the Lady Vols a 3-run lead.
Taylon Holly found herself in a pitcher's count and a pitch that is just too sweet. She's looking to hit. What a swing that she puts on that pitch has continued to carry out of here. 211 feet, so really high up in the air, a towering fly ball that just continued and showing some love to her teammates, really celebrating that one to extend Tennessee's lead to 3 now.
Meanwhile, Joanna Harden thanking Taylor Smith for all she has done, not just in this game, but in the entire postseason run for Virginia. The freshman has given it everything she has had and more. 111 pitches, fighting back some tears, wanting it so bad for her team, for the seniors. You mentioned it, Amanda. We've heard from underclassmen on this Virginia team, and all of them talked about doing it for the seniors. It will be the senior, Eden Bigham, taking the ball from her freshman teammate and relieving Taylor Smith. Exiting to a standing ovation from the Hoos faithful here in Knoxville. 3-run lead for Tennessee. We'll step aside. Eden Bigham, the senior, 3-time All-ACC pitcher who has thrown in the Knoxville Regional not only this weekend, but back in 2024, Amanda, makes another appearance here in the 26 NCAA tournament.
Yeah, she has had a wonderful career at Virginia, pitched in a lot of big games, over 60 career wins for Bigham. Big part of the success of this program over the last few years. The senior class just gets so much credit for Virginia and from Coach Harden, and their entire team playing for this senior class because they love them so much, trying to extend their season with players like Eden Bigham.
For Tennessee, the shortstop, number 12, Bella Fall.
And Eden's mom pitched at Liberty. In fact, she's in the Liberty Hall of Fame. Somebody that Eden has said that was her role model growing up, and an athlete that she tried to model her game after. That's Katie Bigham. Pitcher back in the 90s. And her mom, you know, helped her all growing up, but also coaches her sister, who's a junior committed to Liberty. A lot of Liberty ties. Eden decided to go against the grain a little bit to go to Virginia, outside of kind of the norm in the Bigham family.
Highly experienced pitcher in the postseason. Remember, back in 2024, in the Knoxville Regional, tossed 17 strikeouts in 2 complete game victories against Miami of Ohio. That helped the Hoos reach their first regional final in program history, and now has helped them back to their second here today against Tennessee yet again. Full count to Bella Fall. Draws a walk with 1 down. Well, back to the top of the order, Sophia Knight. So tough at the top of this Tennessee lineup. Has already singled and stolen a bag. Drove in a run and came around to score as well. Time was called here by Virginia, and it's going to be Jamie Allred Stoker, the pitching coach, coming out of the dugout. Megan Raven is involved in the discussion. Maybe she's seeing something from Bigham.
I wish we could hear this conversation.
Bunton dead end. That's in fair territory. Ball completely stopped moving by Knight. Good play by Hickey behind the plate. 2 gone as Fall moves into scoring position.
Sophia Knight has had great at-bats today. Sacrifice fly, a single, sac bunt, just being able to move runners. A lot of production from Sophia Knight in the leadoff spot. Great execution.
Alana Leach playing alongside her twin sister Gabby. Takes ball 1. Sends it in the air to left. Drifting is Green, and she will watch it bounce out of her reach.
Virginia shoveled up their outfield, so Green in left, Griffith in center, and Weismer in right field now. Keeping us on our toes when they make some defensive switcheroos.
Love the old 6th inning switcheroo. Bigham trying to keep this a 3-run game with 6 outs left for the Hoos offense. The damage for Tennessee has come quietly today, minus that home run by Taylon Holly, but they have scored in each of the last 4 innings. A 1 spot in each. 2-2. Just chipped away against their competition in this tournament. Defeated NKU 3-1 in the opener. Virginia 7-5. And now Leach in the air to center. Goodbye. No, it's off the top of the wall. Ricocheting around. Leach falls at second base and just has to reach the bag as she drives in 2.
Hoping she's laughing and not crying. You know that it's not a injury situation over at second base. Really hopeful that she's okay.
Drives in Belifoff from second base and winds up at second. She was thinking 3, maybe more, with the way that ball was ricocheting out in right and center field, rather. And this ball rolled almost all the way to the logo in center.
Alana Leach, starting out the season, was fighting for a spot in the starting lineup and has just had a breakout season. Just kind of trying to gather her steps as she was headed towards second base and kind of toe picked herself. You know, when you're ice skating, there's a little toe pick situation. Kind of look like that.
One-0 count to Morrison. Has reached safely in each of her first 3 at-bats. 2 of those walks and a single back in the 3rd. Three passes starting to mount here for Eden Bigham. Second already of this inning. 2 on, 2 out. Now if you're Tennessee and you keep this rally going, the run rule victory is in play. Emma Clark with 12 home runs this year, including 1 yesterday in the win against Virginia.
You know that Virginia just has to be tired. I think that you're seeing that in their pitching staff today, and not getting some calls is not helping things, but they've just played some long games. 2 3-hour games. This one approaching the 3-hour mark.
Played a pair of 3-hour games against Indiana, both of which ended late in the night. Friday night and then again last night as part of a doubleheader. They played their first game against Tennessee first thing and then came back later in the nightcap.
Steve Bigham is just having issues finding the strike zone, just throwing these pitches too far out, not wanting to come on the plate because of the respect of Tennessee's lineup.
Should Clark reach, Mackenzie Butt awaits on deck. And time called behind the plate. The winner of this matchup will get Georgia in the Super Regional. Tennessee trying to make their 4th straight Super Regional appearance, 15th overall. Virginia has never been to a Super. Another payoff to Clark. That rings her up looking. Bigham does get out of the inning, but for the 4th inning in a row, Tennessee plates a run. Taylin Holly with a solo bomb.
4 innings in a row now that Tennessee has put runs on the board. They're just continuing to extend their lead, smelling a Super Regional that's close.
The NCAA Softball Regionals are presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Kelsey Hackett was one of 3 starters to suffer injuries this year for Virginia. Unfortunately for her, it was a season-ending injury in the ACC tournament. Her coaching staff gave her the pseudo start today. Was in left field for 1 pitch, walked off with the brace around her leg. There wasn't a dry eye in the Virginia dugout or in their fan section. Hackett, one of a plethora of seniors from the state who helped this team make their first regional in nearly 15 years back in 2024. Just a heartfelt moment for her teammates, and the fans of the Cavaliers softball program.
Yeah, just a micro example, I think, of what this senior class means to this Virginia program. Like we were talking about before, a lot of Virginia girls. And everybody in the Virginia stands crying. Looked like some of the players were crying for that moment. There's just been some long emotional days and games. You have a long season, and it all comes down to the month of May and fighting for your season and a chance to continue on the seniors' career and get to play together more.
Winningest senior class in program history. They put together the winningest regular season since '04 this year. And now the first 40-win season since '05. But now here in the regional final, down to their final 5 outs against Carlin Pickens and 7th national seed Tennessee.
Well, she's just given up 2 hits, but it has felt like Virginia has made her work. You know, several walks, hit by pitch, long at bats. It's not been easy for her. 102 pitches pitched at this point for Carlin Pickens. The last time that she threw 7 innings was April 11th, and that was versus Kentucky. She actually threw a no-hitter on that day, had 12 strikeouts against Kentucky. Only threw 99 pitches in that 7-inning game, that no-hitter against Kentucky in April.
Alex called to third, and the tag is made by Mackenzie Butt. Throw threw her off the line a little bit, 2 down.
But I think this is a good sign for Tennessee to give Carlin Pickens a start, let her get a start. Remember, the first time that she has started a game since that April 25th start against Alabama, where that was probably the worst game of the season for Tennessee. So to get her back out there in a meaningful game, super regionals on the line. And I think, too, just looking at the regionals of teams who are going to move on to supers, there's going to be very few teams, if any, that had the ability to start 3 different starting pitchers in each of their 3 games. I don't know another team that would have that luxury. Erin Newer getting the start on Friday night, Sage Marjeko on Saturday against this Virginia team, and then Carlin Pickens today. The best pitching staff in the country with a 3-headed monster of Marjeko, Newer, and Pickens.
Tennessee pitching staff has been ranked in the top 2 in the country in ERA in each of the last 3 seasons. It's pretty remarkable what they have put together here, anchored by Carlin Pickens, the 2-time SEC Pitcher of the Year. Who has battled back this season from injury, a strain to her pitching arm in early March. Gets a 2-2 swing. I believe Griffith got a piece of that. She did.
Everybody clap your hands.
8 strikeouts in the game here for Pickens. Working on number 9 to send us to the 7th. Instead, a roller to Clark. And a 1-2-3 6th.
In the bottom of the 6th inning for the Cavaliers, no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base.
Georgia won their game against Clemson yesterday. But no, that was earlier today. They are hanging out, awaiting the winner of Tennessee and Virginia for their super regional opponent. A couple of national seeds seasons hanging in the balance here. Florida State trailing 4-2 currently. Duke leading 3-0 on Arizona. Texas A&M trailing 5-1 right now in the College Station Regional against Arizona State. We knew coming in it wouldn't necessarily be chalk all the way through. Different way of seeding the tournament this year than we've ever had. That has provided maybe some more parity, maybe more than we've ever had in the regional round. One national seed's already been knocked out. That was Oregon. Failed to reach their own regional final, dealing with some injuries out in Eugene.
That was tough for Oregon, the fact that Lindsey Grine couldn't pitch this weekend. She had a patch on her eye because of an eye infection. And they also got no hit yesterday by Mississippi State's Alyssa Faircloth, so she threw well. Mississippi State has a great pitching staff, so Mississippi State will face St. Mary's today. I don't know actually if they could be on right now during our game, but at some point they'll face each other, and St. Mary's will need to win twice.
Hilton pads and delivers a strike to Eaton, one down.
The third baseman, number 25,
Look at all these SEC teams that have already punched their tickets. Our first super regional matchup is set. Alabama will face LSU for a trip to the Women's College World Series. And what a bounce back, Amanda, for the LSU Tigers after they last year failed to reach their own regional final. Back in the Super to take on rival Alabama.
Yeah, SEC has had a lot of success this weekend, and you can see it with the teams that have advanced. And I think 4 of the 8, if chalk held, were SEC versus SEC matchups for super regionals. It seems to me, and just in recent memory, I feel like Tennessee 4 times out of 5 is paired with an SEC team. Like, I feel like they're always paired up. Last year they played Nebraska, so they got out of SEC territory in supers, but I feel like they're consistently paired with an SEC team. Just, you know, it's by chance, it's by accident. Whenever they do the 1 through 16 seeding, it's been who they've matched up with.
In 2024 had an epic super regional on this field against Alabama. Tide ended up winning that.
So have Nebraska up 1-0 in the top of the 6th inning. So Nebraska 6 outs away from punching their ticket to supers.
Nebraska, of course, would be paired up with Oklahoma State should the Cowgirls hold form at home in Stillwater today. Boy, wouldn't that set up a wonderful pitching matchup between Ruby Malin, a Nebraska native, and Jordy Fromm. 2-2 to Ella Dodge. Calling time, not granted. Swings away, fouls it off.
It's a tricky situation there. There was still time on the action clock left. This has just been a weird flow with the timing of the pitch call coming in and some timeouts happening. I don't know. This game has just had a really weird flow to it the whole entire game.
I couldn't agree more.
A lot of foul balls, a lot of pitches that, in my opinion, should be called strikes that weren't. Now we have this situation going on. I just don't really get it. I haven't seen a game like this with the weird action clock flow all year, and I know that this game means a lot, but I don't know why this has been.
Dodge in the left. Green puts it away, 2 outs.
The right fielder, number 55, Gabby Leach.
Base is clear for Gabby Leach. One of 4 sisters to don a Lady Vols uniform. Rich history of success within this program for the Leach family. Multiple sisters playing significant roles in postseason runs too over the years.
A lot of softball blood in the Leach family, that's for sure. Kelsey, Aubrey, Alana, Gabby. It's from the Houston area, from the Woodlands, Texas. There's Aubrey in the dugout. She's been on staff at Tennessee for a long time now. That's one of the twins next to her. So let's see, Gabby is hitting, so that's Alana next to her in the dugout.
Wouldn't you know it, time called. (3-1). Tennessee just 3 outs away from another trip to a super regional. They just had to win 1 game today. UVA had to win 2. Bingham trying to get them to the bottom of the 7th. Trailing by 4. They will have 8, 9, and 1 due up next inning. Payoff. Strikeout. Bingham sets him down 1, 2, 3, hoping it's not her last pitch of her collegiate career.
No runners left on base.
Look at the Carlin shirts in the crowd. Watching her make her first start in 22 days. She has been sharp. She is the subject of our rewarding performance brought to you by Capital One.
She has had some moments where she's lost her command, but at the end of the day, she is Carlin Pickens, one of the best pitchers in our game, and she is going to pile up the strikeouts. You see this ball move all through the zone, changing speeds, getting chases. Carlin Pickens with a swing and miss right here in Knoxville in front of her home crowd where everybody absolutely adores her. 6 innings pitched, 2 hits, has given up the 1 earned run, the 3 walks, and a couple of hit batters has been her line, but 8 strikeouts for Carlin Pickens, who is trying to throw this complete game in 7 innings for the first time since April 11th.
The left fielder, number 27,
8 strikeouts in 6 innings. Just the 2 hits for Carlin Pickens in a Capital One rewarding performance. Virginia, meanwhile, down to its final 3 outs.
And they're going to make it difficult for her. It's not going to be easy. These last 3 outs for any pitcher, whether you are an All-American, a freshman, it does not matter who you are. The last 3 outs are always the most difficult to get.
Strike 1 to Madison Green. Her 2 hits in this tournament have left the yard. Oh, bends in for a strike. Green thought she was walking up to first. Leadoff walk for Green, who got the start in this postseason for Kelsey Hackett, who we showed you last inning with the brace on her leg, not able to play because of an injury in the ACC tournament, and Green has delivered.
The designated player, number 13, Taylor Smith.
And now Taylor Smith hunting just her 2nd hit of the season. First one didn't leave the infield. It was last night in a win against Indiana to punch Virginia's ticket to their 2nd ever regional final today.
I think the game plan for Virginia in this inning, and it kind of has been throughout the end of this game, is just to be patient at the plate. Carlin Pickens has shown a lack of command at times, and you can see that patience in Green's at bat, and now Smith's trying to make her throw a strike. And even that pitch right there is one that we've seen could be called a ball, could be called a strike, questionable.
She's getting the calls she wants. 73 on the corner for a strikeout.
After that walk, big strikeout there to the 9-hole hitter, getting a little bit off the edge with her freshman catcher, Elsa Morrison. 9th strikeout of the day for Pickens.
She has set down 7 of the last 8. This is low to Jade Hilton. Now the top of the order back up for Virginia. This will be the 4th time through for Jade Hilton today against Carlin Pickens. Jade Hilton will go down as one of the greats in Virginia softball history. Joanna Hardin told us she may even see her number retired at some point in the years to come. Pops it up right side, drifting back Clark. Instead, it's the center fielder Knight. And now Tennessee is 1 out away.
The first baseman, number 19, Macy Eaton.
Strike 1 to Macy Eaton. These are the moments Carlin Pickens seems to live for. Crowd on its feet. A title hanging in the balance. Roller to second base. The flip, and that is it. Tennessee is moving on to the Super Regional for the 4th year in a row.
This Tennessee pitching staff is just going to be a force to be reckoned with, and there's a reason why they have been the best in the country. They are deep, give different looks, they have the experience. Carlin Pickens throwing the complete game. They got a complete game out of Aaron Newer on Friday. Sage Marjeko gave a quality start. They are deep. Their offense figured out ways in the last 2 games to score runs, and they can just win in a lot of different ways. Great season to Virginia that had high hopes because of this senior class to start the season. And I know from Alex Call and talking to her yesterday in the post game, they were playing for this senior class. They adore them, respect them, look up to them. And it's tough to see their season end.
First 40-win season for Virginia since 2005. They fall short in the regional final in Knoxville to Tennessee for the 2nd time since 2024. Eden Bigham, one of the multi-time All-ACC players whose season and career has come to an end today. Tennessee has punched its ticket to the Super Regional. They will take on Georgia in a 3-game series for a trip to Oklahoma City. What a weekend here in Knoxville. Highly entertaining and competitive. So glad you could join us for it. For Amanda Scarborough, our entire crew, Matt Schumacher saying so long from Knoxville. Let's get you out to Lubbock for Texas Tech and Ole Miss.